Today, we're going to be talking about affiliate marketing, PSA, and the used car salesman effect. Now, PSA isn't alone in their heavy-handed affiliate practices, but they are the one that I have the most first-hand experience with, so they drew the proverbial short straw, though this can be applied to many companies in many industries. So while they aren't alone, they will be the main focus of this video. Now, for those of you who are blissfully unaware of what affiliate marketing is, it is a practice of earning commissions through sales made through links or discount codes the affiliate partner provides. The commission itself can vary wildly from flat rates to cost per click or a percentage of say 1 to 20%. Most of my experience is with simple percentages. This is an effective way for a company to boost sales through their affiliate partners by giving them a small kickback from the sales they generate. So what's the problem? Well, the problem, as usual, is greed on both a personal and corporate level. Then you add a splash of dishonesty in the mix, and you get our current predicament. Now, most of that is normal human nature and has been a problem since the dawn of time, but there are two extra layers to delve into. The first is the reviewer. Now, most of these reviewers are nothing more than shape-shifting chameleons waiting for a chance to sell you out to the highest bidder. Like a red corner whore from a different district, the price tags may be different, but it's still just a whore. These reviewers, let's say, are supposed to provide accurate information with as little bias as possible to assist the end user in their buying decisions. In theory, they should work as a buffer between the industry and the layman. The layman in this case is just the average blue-collar worker who doesn't have the time to artistically scour the internet for hours or days to cut to the heart of the matter, but relies on these trusted sources to inform their buying decisions. Yet in effect, these reviewers are just salesmen walking around in the skin suit of an impartial third party, and they're working in tandem with the company to sell as much product as possible, regardless of quality. Now, there are many things that make a bad reviewer, the first of them being dishonesty. When a liar speaks, even if he tells you the truth, he's only poisoning the well. Once you know someone is lying, there isn't much more to do. They have essentially disqualified themselves from being taken seriously. The second is low standards. Drop your standards low enough, and anything seems worthy of peddling onto your audience for your own profit. The praise of a man with low standards is as meaningless as a consolation prize. The third is lack of experience or reference points. Even if you try to convey your experiences accurately, you will most likely lack the breadth of knowledge and personal experience required to pass on accurate information, identify strengths and weaknesses with a certain product, or provide alternatives. We were all in this boat at one point in time, myself chief among them, but it is no less damning to praise something because you didn't know the heights of what could be than to be a liar and know the possibility of what could be but ignore it for a paycheck. This third set of reviewers is the most forgivable. As long as we continue to seek knowledge and gain experience, this is mostly a self-correcting issue. The second layer to all of this, where PSA and the used car salesman effect comes in, is the unholy union of the reviewer with the corporate marketing department. This is done through the use of an affiliate quota system. Much like a used car salesman, if you want to remain in the program, you must sell X amount of product in a set amount of time. In my last phone call with PSA, I spoke to their affiliate marketing manager, a nice young lady who is new to the position. We spoke about products to review, normal, boring stuff, but she also brought up their quota system, which was the first time I had personally been exposed to something like this. Basically, to remain in the program and continue to receive free product, I would have to sell $30,000 gross per year through my affiliate account. This should be an immediate red flag to anyone who actually wants to review a product honestly for their audience. You have now been switched forcefully from a reviewer trying to convey honest information to your audience to a high-pressure salesman. Now, after PSA did their thing, after I pointed out the issues with their improperly machined jackal, I had several other sources reach out to me with their experiences with PSA. This rabbit hole goes deep. I have had other numbers quoted to me at up to $50,000 or even $60,000 per year in sales to maintain access to the program, so the exact numbers don't matter much, other than to say that this is a common practice. The use of a quota system turns reviewers into salesmen. This is why you see the usual suspects pushing PSA links every day, every week. Buy this sale, check out this new product, wow, what a good deal this is. Some of that may be genuine, but now with a quota system in play, all of that comes into question. How many of these products are actually worth the end user's money, and how much of this is simply an attempt to stay in the good graces of the corporation? And this is a bigger deal than just the money as well. Getting kicked from the program means no more free product, which can be thousands of dollars per year alone. That also means no more early access to new stuff, which means you are missing out on potentially hundreds or thousands of views and subscribers. Not only that, but there are certain reviews where if you don't make enough sales, they may even ask for the product back, which can cut into the YouTuber's bottom line. All of that can very quickly turn this quote-unquote reviewer into nothing more than a high-pressure salesman. This proto-financial quagmire leads reviewers down several paths, all but one bad. Number one is outright lying to your viewers about product you are quote-unquote reviewing, aka selling to your audience. Or number two, the more insidious one at times, is softballing reviews so you don't offend the powers that be. And number three, the final path, is that you leave by whatever means. I know of other people that were in this program, didn't make the quota because they never lied, never pushed product, just gave an honest review and dipped. Commendable. Now, I want to be very clear, this is not an issue with the person that I spoke with or any one lower level employee just doing their job. This problem rests solely on the thin-skinned shoulders of those who run the company, the higher-ups who give the green light to this sort of conduct behind the scenes. But we'll get to them later. Of late, we have seen Palmetto State Armory have some interesting interaction with critics online. My own experience is more humorous than anything. After they kicked me from the program, they also charged me back $6 from previous sales. The level of petty is just funny at this point. But for others, there have been much more serious responses. They hand out cease and desists like blue hair dye at a liberal arts college for anyone who talks about their AK return and failure rate, which is much higher than you would expect, even for PSA. They ban people from buying from them for critiquing their substandard product, which means in some cases that the people who spent their own money on a product can no longer maintain it or replace parts for simply being critical online. Now, why? Why would a company so large and rapidly expanding like PSA be so petty or concerned with a little negative press? They hide behind the moniker of maximizing freedom, unless you have a negative opinion, putting rifles into common use in America while shipping trucks of substandard product to unsuspecting buyers. So why? Why can't they take a little heat? What is just behind that facade? Well, I personally believe it is down to the management and the man above them. Now, for a moment, let's embark down a path of pure conjecture, shall we? If I were to ask you how Palmetto State Armory makes money, you would probably say something like profit by volume. Sell enough product, even if the profit margins are slim, and you can maintain operations. Well, at least on paper. PSA over the last several years has been buying up company after company, getting into ammo, and possibly soon suppressors and optics as well, spreading their Lovecraftian tentacles over the industry. Every year, an ever-expanding lineup of half-baked product hits the market, and their audience eats it up. And why wouldn't they? It's good enough. 60% of the time, it works every time, and it doesn't cost much to boot. It's either new enough or different enough to be exciting in a way that a good old AR just isn't anymore. Recently, AAC has been making waves by blowing up suppressors. I mean, coming into the market and providing low-cost alternatives to other big ammo manufacturers. However, one notable practice of AAC is if they aren't selling enough ammo, they drop the price. And if they still don't sell enough, they drop the price even more, even to the point of not making money. Now, you don't need a degree in economics for that to sound a bit off as a business practice, but I do. Now, why would you drop the price to sell as much as possible without making profits? 2 words: cash flow. You see, the Palmetto pyramid isn't as sturdy as you might think. And underneath that, you have the shifting sands of political change, and your long-term forecast might call for some bad weather. Buying companies and their debts isn't cheap. When PSA buys up company after company and expands product lines and introduces new ones, not only does their size increase, but so does their costs. And to pay for all of this expansion, both internal and external, well, they need that cash flow. They are willing to take a hit in long-run profits on ammo and other products in order to sell more in the here and now and outrun their debts in the interim. Now, that is not a long-term plan. Many companies have engaged in this behavior. Few pull it off. To keep this up, they need to keep selling product no matter what. Release some hyped up nonsense that needs more time, push it out anyways. MP7 chassis? That's hot right now. New, somehow. Pump shotguns and bolt action rifles in 2025, maybe? They need more products to sell and to sell it quickly. Same with their ammo division. As soon as sales slow down in any way, that becomes very problematic for the company. So they maintain their sales in 3 main ways. Number 1, lowering prices. This is a short-term solution, as again, it might help with your cash flow and get you through today, but it isn't setting you up for tomorrow. Number 2 is new products. PSA is, at this point, a hype beast company, and they feed into that. Remember the PSA MP5, the STG 44, or a slew of products that they have teased but never released, or even worse, products that they actually released. Without the new stuff, you are left with the old stuff, and well, you kind of know what you're getting at this point. Number 3 is control of the narrative. There are no problems, there is no war in bossing, say. As we established earlier, their incestuous relationship with reviewers means that they have a dedicated sales avenue direct to consumers without even putting these people on the payroll. And that is why any variation from the norm in terms of a review is treated as a almost treasonous act. The product must be pushed, the consumerism will flow. Now let's get back to that facade, that shield they hold up to dissuade any and all criticism. To start this segment, let's talk about the people who work at PSA. By and large, they are good people trying to do the right thing, providing for themselves, their families, and attempting to do right by their customers. I have nothing against them or their honorable pursuits. The corporate rot always starts at the top. And as we see time and time again, the good people trying to do the right thing, from the low-level worker and even to middle management, when they try to change or improve the way things are done, they inevitably get shot down and eventually leave or are forced out due to the upper echelon of the company. To be clear, they are aware of the issues, aware of the fixes that could be implemented to improve the experience of their actual end user, but choose not to. The tools of their redemption are laid out in front of them, but they choose not to implement them. Not because they care about maximizing freedom or providing firearms to the average American at the best possible price, but because they put money above all else. So what's the fix for all of this? For PSA, wield the tools at your disposal to improve the company from the top down, implement the fixes to improve the product for the end user, and actually live the mission statement, don't just hide behind it. Also, drop the high-pressure sales tactics. It's most importantly bad for the end user, and it helps to allow this corporate rot to continue unabated. For us as reviewers, raise your standards. Passing off substandard equipment and tools onto your audience for a quick buck is pathetic. We should be holding ourselves to a higher standard, and that means holding companies accountable as well. For the individual, much the same. Raise your personal standards, ask more from your trusted sources, and hold them to account, myself included. We don't need to drown in a sea of mediocre products that helps to scratch the itch of our own consumerism. We all want this industry to do better and to be better, and that starts with us.